Hi, Keshini. Welcome to our podcast, College Vibes by College Counselling Coach. And as we discussed over the telephone, this is our attempt at making our students aware, those who are preparing for their undergraduate or postgraduate study abroad journeys, to get an insight from students who have just passed out from their colleges abroad, be it USA or UK, Canada, Australia. And of course, you're a very star interviewee, considering that you just finished your master's from Harvard. So I'm very happy and privileged to be having this interview with you, Keshini. Welcome.
Hi, Prachi. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here, and thank you for getting in touch with me. It's such an honor to be on this podcast talking with you, and I hope I can share things that people can take back and utilize in their journey to apply. Yep.
Thank you, Keshini. Keshini, very quickly, I'd like you to share a few things about yourself, where you grew up, where you went to college, what you did before coming to Harvard, and then we'll move forward with our regular questions.
Yes, sure. Thank you. So I grew up in different parts of India, but I'm a Bangalorean at heart. I've been in Bangalore for most of my life, and I live with my family. That's my parents and a sibling. While growing up, there were certain, instances in life where we were motivated to learn from, what we would generally experience in life and not get stuck to a specific path. So I feel like my journey sort of reflects that. My parents have been very supportive throughout, and they always let us explore. The same with my brother too. So I first, went ahead with doing my dentistry because I always was looking for ways to be able to serve people. I realized that early on during my, when I was in my school even, that I like to be part of, different NGOs, whether it was Red Cross or Rotary International, and I really enjoyed the work they did. And I was looking at other ways to serve, and dentistry seemed like a good path to take. Once I finished my education as a dental surgeon, I went on to do my internship, and I did recognize a few gaps that existed in providing care. One of it being prevention over just treatment. And I was also thinking of ways in which I can share the knowledge that I've gained with more people. And I realized that for that, you need a platform that can amplify your voice. And it just felt like, and doing an MBA would be helpful because I was trying to also open an organization of my own. And knowing how the business world works is really crucial to be able to do that. And so I went into the field of finance and marketing, which was really different from what I had done before, but it just widened my horizon. I was able to think of things differently as maybe my peers would because they were so focused on the science and medical part of dentistry only. When I was doing my MBA, I had many opportunities to intern with different companies, whether in the market research space or even general marketing. That gave me an insight into consumer psychology as well. And I felt like that is a very keen, you need to have a keen observation to see if you can pick up on that piece and use it for good. If you can help people change their behavior, they could prevent a lot of diseases. I worked with different companies after that, and that was in the space of digital marketing because I wanted to amplify the skill set I had, just sort of build my toolkit to be able to see how to use different platforms, become a little, tech savvy, and also see how to then leverage the same platforms for providing more information on health. I worked with one was a SaaS-based company where I was helping them promote different things in terms of their products and services. So I use YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, every social media platform out there, which just again gave me that skill set to take forward. I worked with AirAsia as well, and I did a lot of e-commerce work with them, which helped me also understand that aspect of businesses. When the pandemic hit, we all had this moment where we could introspect. So I took a step back and did the same. And during that time, I was working very closely with Rotary International, recognizing that there were a lot of people who needed help and a gap in providing care existed, which was very evident, especially in mental health, which is very close to my heart. And that's when I started, trying to find avenues of what I could do next. How could I be a part of the solution and not just the problem? And I started doing my research in different courses that I could do, and a public health program is what I felt like would be the perfect fit. And yeah, I guess I'll just answer more of the questions that come along these lines so that I can let you talk.
No,
But yeah,
that's perfectly
in a
fine.
nutshell.
That's perfectly fine, Keshni. So from what I can gather is you started out as a dentist, and you have this great desire to be in the to be of service to others and also be able to earn a living out of it. And therefore you moved on to doing your MBA so that you could amplify your reach. You went on to doing a digital marketing course during the COVID times. And then you said that you wanted to get into health services. That is what you thought is the best solution. So that sort of answers so many questions of my mind, like, why did you decide to do this course? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump a few questions instead of saying, my next question would ordinarily have been that what made you decide to go abroad to pursue this? But since you've told me your entire journey from dentistry to an MBA to having worked for Asia, done a digital marketing course, and then thought that, let me get into health services and then come to this. So you've already told me why you went into a course for health services. So instead of saying what made you decide to go for a college abroad for your master's, I would rather frame it another way, that how did you think doing this course is going to further bolster whatever you've done so far or whatever you are going to do in the future?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that's an amazing question and a segue into how I was continuing my story as well. So thank you. I was looking at a way to amalgamate all the experiences that I'd gained. And that I would say that's just the part that's less taken. And so I try to see how can I combine a little bit of content writing, communications, marketing, and the background of health. And that's when I understood that there's this whole space on which is actually dedicated to health communication and public health marketing. And it seemed like it would be a perfect fit for me. I was able to bring in different expertise that businesses use, and they are able to meet their bottom lines to actually amplify the reach of different public health communication campaigns that run out. And I was also able to design these campaigns from my own understanding of marketing campaigns. And that was what I was focusing on and wanted to achieve out of doing this master's. And I felt like that would be a perfect fit in a lot of places. And because my focus of interest, at least, was on mental health, I was trying to see how I can combine all of this and direct it and see it through the lens of mental health awareness, and also ways in which you connect the dots to provide more care
Great.
between avenues that exist.
Great, Keshni. That seems like a natural progression, but not so natural because you needed to put in a lot of effort. And there are times when people really don't know how to go about getting what they want. But you're there right now. And Harvard is anybody's dream in any case. So now my next question, that how did you zero in on the universities that you're going to apply for?
Yeah, thank you. I can maybe mention a few points that helped me in my journey. First, I began with just trying to see and this I think is something that people do a lot. I'm not sure. Like, you try to look at the list of the top universities that offer a program that you're interested in. So I did that with public health as well. And I narrowed down on a few universities based on criteria like how long is the course going to be for? What's the duration of the whole program? And also the kind of faculty that will be involved in your learning journey, because there are several of them that are very well known in the field, and their work is world renowned even. And to be able to learn from them would just add well, it would be the cherry on the top of the whole cake. And in addition to that, I started researching more about what they offered as a part of their program, not only the specific subjects or courses, but also would I have a practicum period, which is an internship period where I can actually apply what I have learned in the field. And how did I get all this knowledge? I actually had conversations with multiple people who had graduated from these universities that I had shortlisted and narrowed down. And they mentioned a few different pointers that are crucial to know. And that's what I went after. When it comes to the country, I had already done a master's, so this is going to be my second master's. I wanted a program that would be maybe a year long. And the US had several programs to offer that were in that duration range, as opposed to other countries that I was looking at, maybe like Australia and Canada. So that was an easy, way for me to identify which country I'd want to go into. And I was looking at Hopkins and Harvard as my topmost choices. And it was really tough when I got into both of them to decide. Yeah, it
Excellent.
wasn't easy.
Excellent. And what are the other colleges besides Harvard and Hopkins that you applied to?
Yes, so I applied to George Washington University, which is also very well known for their public health program. The other one is Emory University. I also did apply to Yale, to University of North Carolina. Yeah, these were the few that I did apply to. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. All the big wigs out there, I must say. And Keshini, very quickly, if you can tell me something about your campus, about Harvard, anything particular about the university, the college that you went to, so that we can get an insight from an insider as to what it's really like to be in those exalted circles.
Yes, sure. Wow. I can go on forever with this question, but I'm going to keep it short. Coming to Harvard and just being in the campus, it's a larger than life sort of, moment that you would
I can
have, because
imagine.
so
I can
much about,
imagine.
yes, it really is. I would say something that really stuck out for me was that Harvard has so much to offer. They have so many programs and courses. And once you enter into any of the courses, you actually have the option of cross-registering into any of Harvard's different, programs. Like I was at the School of Public Health, but I could take a class at Harvard Business School, at also maybe Harvard Medical School, Harvard Dental School. I did take a class at Harvard Medical School, and I really enjoyed it. So it just opens up not only that specific school, but the whole university to you. And Harvard always mentions this, that when you're at Harvard, you feel like you're drinking from a fire hose, which is very, very true, because there's
Wow.
just so much to do and so much that Harvard has to offer, and your time is limited. And it really helps to narrow down and see what you really enjoy doing and what you'd want to add to your skill set. And Harvard will definitely have it somewhere for you to pick up on. But yeah, I also I would say that this a huge attraction with Harvard is their the Coop, which is actually the merch shop of Harvard. And when I first arrived, I think I went and bought everything possible. So everything I owned was all filled with Harvard's logos on it, just because of the excitement. And I brought everything back home to India and gave it to all of my relatives, and the joy on their face was just, yeah, it was priceless. Yeah.
Great, great. So, Keshni, I mean, I'm passionate about language, and when you said drinking from the fire hose, I mean, it caught my attention immediately. And I mean, this is not part of the series or of questions that I had planned, but I mean, there's nothing more exciting than taking the road lesser known, right? So I'm just going to deviate a little bit. So, and when you say drinking from the fire hose, my question is, does it lead to being burnt out, or does it lead to being burnished?
Wow, that's a really good question. And it's a mix, I would say. But and another analogy I'd like to share, and this is probably helpful for people who look at these universities and think, can I even apply to them? Because I
Yeah,
felt the same thing.
yes,
And it's a
indeed.
huge thing. When we first entered Harvard, it was hilarious, but at the orientation, we were told, hey, your profile has not been mixed up with somebody else's. You are here because you deserve to be here. And the biggest issue everybody was facing was the imposter syndrome and feeling like they don't belong. But Harvard made it very easy to feel like you're a part of the community. And they mentioned something that stuck with me, which helped me not get burnt out, which was that it's sort of it's called like a duck syndrome, where you see duck floating on the surface of water, and it just looks so peaceful and serene.
Yes, but
But
you're
it's really
paddling
fast.
furiously beneath the surface. I get that. I
Exactly.
get
And
that.
so they actually told us, do not do that. Harvard provided us with several different avenues to reach out to take care of our mental health and physical health. And I made the most of each of them because, there were several times during my program, because the program is very rigorous. I did a 1-year course, so it was extremely rigorous. I was happy that this help was available. So yes, you can burn out if you don't find the right people to talk to. If you want to do everything, doing everything would not be my recommendation.
So,
Choosing what's
Keshini,
going to
what
you.
really emerges out of this answer of yours, the takeaway that I would give to students who are hearing this podcast is that whatever seems aspirational or unreachable, it's almost like aiming for the stars, aiming for the moon, but it is possible. It is not as improbable, impossible as it sounds, just because the name is so big, right? So I think that's a big thing that has come out of this conversation, Keshni. And the whole idea, I'm so happy when these answers come up, because we have specific questions, okay? And we know that they're going to lead to certain answers. But there are these unexpected revelations which can only come from someone who's been there, done that. And that is why we are very happy that we are doing this podcast. Coming to the next question, Keshni, any advice that you would have for students who are planning for their study abroad journey? And I'm not talking only just of students who have worked or studied and then gone in for an MBA or a master's program, but even those children who are planning for their undergraduate studies abroad.
Yeah. I think, I saw a few similarities if someone's applying for an undergrad or a graduate program. One main thing being, let's say, even if we talk about, like, because I come from India, um, there is a huge shift, when you are planning to apply and you're going into a different country. So a few things that I kept in mind were, while choosing my program, and just like advice that I would give is, be very, like, do not lead with emotion when you're trying to identify where you'd like to go. Yes, the names are big and they have a lot to offer, but still choose wisely. See if your program gives you time to work and stay back after you've finished your program. That's very crucial, even as an undergraduate. That'll give you time to explore the place and embed yourself into the place. And just maybe if you choose to live in that country, it'll give you more time to do that as well. Um, I would say when you're beginning your journey, yes, the first thing you'd go to is probably go to websites of the specific universities, but they also have several sessions which are information sessions. And you'd be able to find links to that on their website. And something that I learned, which was so helpful, was they are very prompt in responding to emails. So if you write an email to these universities, the admissions office, mainly the admissions office, or the course, ahead of the course that you're trying to apply to, they will write back to you. So have all the information you need before jumping in. Something that helped me a lot was making connections with people on LinkedIn, because I wanted to get an insider's view, just as Prachi was mentioning right now. I didn't know too many people who had been to Harvard or done this program, but I was able to identify them through LinkedIn. A few things to consider when you do that. Do not go in do not go into a conversation with anyone that doesn't know you with the simplest questions like, how do I apply? They have to be very directed questions. So make sure you've done your homework, and they'd be more than happy to help you. So don't be scared to reach out to people.
Great, great, Keshini. Uh, what about your statement of purpose, Keshini? How did you go about it? What did it contain? How did you prepare, and how did you put it all together? Very quickly, please.
Sure. As I was applying to multiple universities, it did seem pretty daunting that I can't be submitting the same statement of purpose everywhere. I would have to change it around a little bit. So I first made a master statement of purpose. To do that, I noted down the points I would like to convey, starting off with, where did the idea of doing this program come into my mind? Why this specific university? Also talking about, different things that I can bring to the program and I can bring to my colleagues who I would be, talking to on a daily basis, and what are my future aspirations as an outcome of going through this specific program. These are very broad. There's a lot more, but these are the broad specific ideas you want to include. There were several iterations that I did, but I made sure to convey not only logically what I wanted, but also the emotion aspect of it. Because a lot of the decisions you make in life and the turns you take are because of experiences you've had. So make sure you include your experiences in that too.
Okay, Keshini, I'm going to get into a rapid fire round, which you can answer me, which you can answer to in just a quick statement or a word. What's your college, Keshini?
This is the under Harvard University, the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health.
All right. What's your major?
It's in public health focused in health and social behavior.
All right. Your favorite subject is what we've written here for undergrad students, but since you've done your postgraduate course or graduation, as they call it in the US, my question to you would be: what was the favorite aspect, the favorite subject within your domain?
I took up a specific course on innovation and entrepreneurship in healthcare, which I really enjoyed.
All right. What's your hobby, Keshini? What do you like to do?
Several. I love playing my guitar, or at least attempting to. I love singing, and I also love being a part of different live performances.
Excellent. Any one mistake that you would like to, rework on or wish that you'd done it differently?
Something I mentioned before, don't try to do everything. I
All
did try
right.
to figure it didn't help. Choose
All
your
right.
battle.
All right. And who's been the biggest influencer or propeller in your, college application process, wanting to go out here and get into Harvard?
I think it would be my mom. She
Oh,
had
fabulous.
confidence in me like no other. So that gave me more confidence in myself.
That's lovely, Keshni. It's been such an enlightening and delightful conversation. And I must say that as an interviewer and as a woman, I'm so proud to have you here because I see the potential of being able to do so many different things without feeling like, you are deviating from what you're supposed to do. You will finally find your purpose. And it's not like if you've moved from dentistry to an MBA to a digital marketing course to working with AirAsia and doing a course in health services. It's not like you've been frittering between things. It's or flitting between things. Sorry, it's more like exploring yourself, pushing yourself harder, and trying to be at the apogee of where you can be. And in that light, it's indeed been a privilege, Keshini Saggar, to have you here with me, to have a Harvard alumnus with me. And thank you so much for taking time out to have a conversation with College Counselling Coach. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Prachi. I really appreciate your time, and I'm glad that I could be here.
All right.